universe, they are too big for human comprehension. They are like very complex, and we want to simplify them. And that is what led me to reaction. They release a lot of as they release this energy, they start resolving. Now, gravity is trying to adapt to star. This fusion reaction is reacts and balances out as the star is stable. But so this fusion reaction is sending all hydrogen out of the star. But there's a problem that iron cannot be complex solar radiation. So it is fusion reaction and the gravity. So gravity causes the star to all of this is orbiting around the black hole, and that is the light from the accretion disk that we can see. And this, like all of this yellow stuff, is the accretion disk on the black hole. And the black part is basically the shadow. And the relativistic because the mass is orbiting at high speed, it makes energy go perpendicular. Now, we still have that black hole. So there is a lot of classical physics works in the macroscopic world, the world we live in, and the quantum physics works in the smaller dimensions, electrons, neutrons, protons. Now you need to define a single theory that would unify both of them, which is possible by the string theory. How did we do that? Till now, we thought of particles as dots. When you look at this from far away, you see a dot. But when you come closer, you can see a string inside. And that string led to the string. We theorized that there might be strings that are actually particles as we see them. And those strings could be either open or closed, like a line or a circle. And it can have a special frequency. It could have a wavelength and frequency. And those that will define properties like mass, like energy. That's when we discovered graviton. A graviton is a boson. Now I'll explain. There are two types of matter. There are two types of particles. Like here. One is fermion, anything that is made up of matter, and the other is boson, anything that is made up of energy. Basically, there are units of matter and units of energy. This is like mass, and this is like light. We define mass with electron mass. These are defined by photons and gravitons. Now, graviton is a boson because it's an energy. It's the attracting force, the energy between particles. We defined the graviton and thus we unified these theories literally. Now, to do that, give us more problems and answers. Now, we only could define the existence of graviton, of boson. We could not define the existence of fermion. And it requires 26 dimensions in a world of 3 dimensions that is not even imaginable. It requires 26 dimensions with 1 as time and 25 immediate dimensions. And it requires a new particle, a new type of particle, not even matter, not even energy. And they call it a tachyon. A tachyon has the mass of a complex number. That means its mass is itself not defined. And it always travels faster than the speed of light, which is also not possible in our universe. Light is the fastest thing in the universe, like Albert Einstein said. And now we had 3 problems: dimensions, tachyons, and no fermion. To solve that, we came back to these particles. These particles have special properties like like mass and energy. If we put them as spinors inside the string, we gave them spin and define more properties in them and enable this to work. We took out the existence of tachyon. And with new properties like mass, we could also define fermions. And this reduced the number of dimensions from 26 to 10. 10 dimensions and one time. Now, so physicists theorized that in our universe we do not have equal number of fermions and bosons, but they said there could be equal number of fermions and we just have not identified this. And now I'll come to how we'll explain these 10 dimensions. These 10 dimensions can be explained again back to the particle. The particle was a zero-dimensional thing, it's a dot. But as you moved it, you could see multiple dimensions in it. It was a string, so it had 1, 2 or even 3 dimensions inside. So physicists theorize as you go closer to a particle, you will identify more dimensions in it. The dimensions are curled in atom. You cannot see them, right? This stick. If you look at it from far away, it's a line. It's one dimension. But as you come closer, you can count this. So that's a 2 dimension. The dimension is curled from each other. And from far away, you cannot see that. That's why we couldn't theorize 10 dimensions. And now, since the dimensions are curled in each other, we could define as many dimensions as we want. So now the 10 dimension problem is solved. And the 10 dimension problem gave us a new solution. That is the multiverse theory. Physicists theorized that as the dimensions are curled, they could move, they could translate into different shapes. And as the shapes change, it could give new number of fermions and bosons, introduce new fermions and bosons and take away some. And this happens with change in time. In our universe, the curling, it happens so slowly. They were so slowly that in a long passing of time, like billions of years, we could form a new universe, like the Big Bang. This universe ending and another universe forming might just be due to the curling of dimensions. So the multiverse, it's not in space. You cannot go to another universe by traveling space. You travel through time. If you move too much forward in time, you might just end up in a new universe. If you go to superstring theory is just the basic of this. When we define spinors, we define the superstring theory. And multiple physicists also theorize 5 types of superstring theory. Types 1, 2A, 2B, H432 and EA, all of those are based on the same principle but with different iterations of physics in these fermions and bosons. They defined it differently. And combining all those, we came into the M theory. Now the M theory is the most recent and most stable version of string theory. And it's basically the string theory. It combined all these